Hello and welcome to the programme. Medical matters are under the microscope this week at the veterinary practice of Greyhound specialist Brian Jones. We bring you the opening round of the Produce Stakes, the second round of the Easter Cup, but first we go to Shelbourne Park for the final of the Green Property Oaks.
Well, we're at Shelbourne Park this evening for the final of the Green Property Oaks. The main pretenders are Drive a Mini and Pinewood Gull, and with their contrasting running styles, it should be an intriguing contest. Well, the dog's now on parade for the final of the Green Property Oaks. In one is Hey Good Looking, trained by Mary Gilbert and owned by Timmy Byrne in Kildare. This is a daughter of Vintage Prince and Lady Ariana. In Trap 2, the strong-running Ambassador Lady, trained by the all-conquering Paul Hennessy down in Gowran, owned by Seamus O'Farrell in Kilkenny. This is a daughter of Droopy's Finton and Natural Deal. In 3, Carrickhill Lady, trained by Joe Rafferty and owned by James Burke and Joe Rafferty in Kildare. This is a daughter of Spiral Nikita and Emily Princess. A tough draw, but not a forlorn hope. In 4, Drive a Mini, real early pacer, trained by Michael Keeley and owned by Robert Booth in Tipperary. This is a daughter of Minnie Spiral and Little Gorgeous. She's one of the favourites. In 5, Pinewood Rocket, owned and trained by Anne Baxter in Dublin. This is a daughter of Spiral Nikita and Chica Chuita. And the lineup completed by Trap number 6, Pinewood Gull, another one owned and trained by the Baxters in Dublin. This one by James. This one's a daughter of Spiral Nikita and Chica Chuita. She'll really be flying at the finish. Well, the runners now all in traps for the final of the Green Property Oaks. Worth €7,500. The favourite, Trap number 4, Drive a Mini at 5-4. The 7-4 second favourite, number 6, Pinewood Gull. The dogs in trap order: 1, Hey Good Looking; 2, Ambassador Lady; and 3, Carrickhill Lady; 4, Drive a Mini; 5, Pinewood Rocket; and in 6, Pinewood Gull, her litter sister. Away they go, and first to show is number 5, Pinewood Rocket on the inside. Number 2, Ambassador Lady, going up very strongly and leading around the corner. In second spot now, number 4. No, instead, number 1, Hey Good Looking. Number 4, Drive a Mini, has been badly balked, but out front, it's number 2, Ambassador Lady. Number 1 is in second spot, that's Hey Good Looking. Number 5 is next, Pinewood Rocket, but around the third corner, it's number 2, Ambassador Lady. She's led from trap rise, second, number 1, Hey Good Looking. It's going to take an awful effort to catch this one. Number 5, Pinewood Rocket, hampering her litter sister up to the line. It's going to be close on the line, I'll tell you, it's very close indeed, between number 2, Ambassador Lady, number 5, Pinewood Rocket, and number 6, Pinewood Gull. Well, it really was a sensational finish, but in the end, number 6, Pinewood Gull, running on strongly to beat her litter sister, Pinewood Rocket. Back in third, Ambassador Lady. The winning time, 29:04. As traps went up, James, what were your feelings?
Well, I was looking at the video from Tina G last week. I taped it. I was looking at it all week. I couldn't sleep. And I was afraid of the dog that was in trap 6 last week. He got trap 4. She got trap 4 this week. And when she came out last week, she went to the right. And I thought she'd do the same again tonight and knock her into her, you know. But it just so happened it didn't happen. This one came out a bit behind and horsing. So we're trouble-free when the traps went up. I hit the first bend then. I seen the rocket in front of the gull, and I says, that's it, the gull won't go by her. But then as I came up to the line, she went by her where I counted.
It's remarkable litter sisters 1-2. What's next for the pair, do you think?
Oh God, we haven't looked now.
Well,
we
for
haven't
these
studied
two.
any rest now for a couple of weeks anyway first.
Well, we brought them back from 5-7-5s, you know, to give them a rest in the 5-2-5. We didn't think they'd go as well as they did, but sure, you never know with dogs, do you?
Ah, those waiting room blues. Dreading the moment when you hear the words, "The vet will see you now." But these greyhounds have reason to be cheerful, as veterinary surgeon Brian Jones specialises in the treatment of canine athletes.
It always has been quite busy because greyhounds, by their nature, they tend to get quite a few injuries. But veterinary medicine and surgery has advanced a lot in the last number of years. And there are a lot of things that can be done now that wouldn't have been done heretofore. Fractures such as hock fractures, they can be repaired quite easily, depending on the fracture, of course, and quite successfully. Most of those dogs will go back to the racetrack. Generally, owners and trainers are very fond of their greyhounds. There's a bit of a misconception out there that they don't really care for the dogs, but in my experience, I find them that most of them, by and large, have great regard for them. Even if dogs are not going to race again or going to be retired, very often they've been through a lot, owners and greyhounds together, and there is a great affinity for the dog.
So he's enjoying life now, is he?
Yeah, well, he might get a few bitches. We don't know yet.
Yeah.
He get a couple of mine anyway.
That's good.
Billionaire, or Billy as he's known, has retired from the racetrack, but his owner Larry Dunn is making sure he stays in shape. Today, he's having his teeth descaled.
He turned out probably the greatest gambling dog in Howard's Cross of all time. He won, I think he won about 10 races last year in Howard's Cross from April to November. And there was a stage that the racing manager, no matter what he put him in with, or no matter what race he put him in, he just couldn't get him beaten. So he was good to me, I have to be good to him. He's 5 years of age now, and he was a very, very good servant to me. And I suppose the life of a dog is his teeth. So I want to get his teeth all cleaned up and checked out to make him live a bit longer, I suppose, yeah.
Sean Hurl's top racing dog injured himself in training, but is benefiting from the advances in medical science.
Okay, Sean, come ahead, please.
The most common injuries would be muscle injuries, little strains or tears or pulls, and shoulder muscle injuries, or the muscles of the back legs. The gracilis muscle is a very important muscle. It's one of the main muscles of the back leg. It is quite a bad injury. It's the worst muscle injury you can do in a racing greyhound, and it's a career-threatening injury. And what we actually had to do was go in, open it up, stitch it. We stitched it internally, and then you leave it drain because you get a bit of fluid after it, a bit of muscle damage. You always get fluid accumulating, so you leave it draining for 4 or 5 days and then take it out. Okay, good. So I want to check again in about a week's time.
This is Ken Rush. He was in the final of the National Puppy there before Christmas in Shelbourne. He picked up this injury 2 weeks ago in a gallop and brought him down to Brian, and it was a very bad injury. It's just unfortunate this here happened to him, but hopefully he'll be all right again and he'll be heading back to Shelbourne again.
You get a great thrill, a great buzz out of seeing a dog that you've worked on and maybe you thought would never race again, and coming back out and racing up to his ability, or as close to his ability as you could possibly make him. That there is a great kick and a great satisfaction out of that. People are becoming a lot more aware of what can be done, and they are generally more aware now, more up to date with it.
No pain there, there's no swelling really.
It, isn't it?
Normally you get a little bit of swelling or a bit of bruising, but that's doing very well, yes. Be happy with that.
He chipped a bone in his wrist and was operated on, and had to come to get the bandage changed and make sure it was still clean, the stitches were still in place. But hopefully he'll still be able to race. He's just a cat of 9 lives, I call him, never mind. He'd been away to England twice and wouldn't settle. I brought him back again, paid the money back, give it back to the man, brought him back, and he's been a marvellous dog ever since. Oh, he'll be with us now the day he dies, that's him. That's truthful. He's just been a marvellous wee servant.
Perhaps the most dramatic example of how modern science has advanced came with a 5-month-old pup whose badly broken leg has been successfully pinned.
There was a lot of displacement, the leg was quite bent. That's pre-op, this is post-op.
Yeah.
There's the pin, wire and screws.
Yeah.
And there's external fixator. Yeah. And these will come out next week, the pin and wire will stay there.
Yeah.
And normally, maybe a number of years ago, that pup might have been discarded. But now there's a good chance that pup will go to the racetrack and have a full racing career ahead of him.
Brian's work affords him great professional rewards, but perhaps most gratifying is the chance to witness the obvious affection owners have for their greyhounds.
And what happens is when they come around the house, my family and the people that work for me, they get attached to them, yeah. And they get it hard to part with them, then they give them back to the people, yeah.
I'm afraid there's no cure, or I'm glad there's no cure, yeah. There definitely is an addiction to greyhounds or to dogs. I've seen it all the time. People have dogs, get out of them, but next thing, a few years down the line, they'll appear with a new pup. And this is the one. It is an addiction. We're optimistic. We're an optimistic bunch.
Stay with us after the break for the Produce Stakes, the Easter Cup and a peek at the progress at Lifford Stadium. The first rounds of the Irish Stud Dog Owners and Red Mills Produce Stakes got underway at Thurles on Easter Sunday. 46 dogs came forward for the heats. In Fortune takes up the commentary.
Well, the dogs now in traps for the opening heat of the 2002 Produce Stakes. In trap order, 1 is Santa de Chateau, in 2 he's Brandy, 3 Shaper's Rumble, 4 Burgess Razor, 5 Droopy's Agassi, and completing lineup trap number 6 Alan Top. The favourite here, trap number 5 Droopy's Agassi at 4 to 7. The hare coming around the final corner, up behind traps. And away they go. And first to show is number 2, he's Brandy. On the outside, number 5, Droopy's Agassi, showing some fine early pace. And back in third, Alan Top around the opening corner. It's he's Brandy in front from number 5, Droopy's Agassi, about 2.5 lengths in it. Back in third, number 4, Burgess Razor. But down the back straight, it's number 2, he's Brandy, about 3 lengths clear of number 5, Droopy's Agassi. Further back to number 4, Burgess Razor. Around the third corner, still number 2, he's Brandy in second, Droopy's Agassi trying to close. And further back, number 6, Alan Top. Around the final corner, he's Brandy now being challenged on the outside by Droopy's Agassi. Up to the line, it's very close, number 5, Droopy's Agassi. Just getting beaten up. Well, the runners now in traps for the heat 3 of the 2002 Produce Stakes, and 1 Easy Focus, 2 Papa's Pet, in 3 Mercury Rising, 4 Mustang Messiah, 5 You May Be Right, and 6 Magical Captain. The hare coming around the final corner. The favourite here, trap number 2 Papa's Pet at 5 to 4. And away they go, and first to show is number 4, Mustang Messiah. On the outside, number 6, Magical Captain. And further back, number 1, Easy Focus. But around the opening corner, it's number 4, Mustang Messiah to sneak round. In 6, Magical Captain's taking it up now. But number 4, Mustang Messiah is the inside run. Back in third, number 1, Easy Focus. Past halfway, it's number 4, Mustang Messiah. In second, number 6, Magical Captain. And further back, Easy Focus. But Mustang Messiah seems to have this about 3 lengths clear of number 6, Magical Captain. Further back, number 1, Easy Focus. But up the home stretch, it's number 4, Mustang Messiah. She wins it from number 1, Easy Focus. Third, number 6, Magical Captain. Well, the runners now in traps for heat 5. This is a 4-dog contest. Number 2, Daring Prince and Honor, along with number 6, Funny Bill. That leaves in trap 1, Jeff's Judge. In trap 3, Mega Foxy. In 4, Give and Go. In 5, Dun City Away. They're the 4 runners. The hare on the way. Just coming around the second last corner. There's a big battle in the mark between number 5, Give and Go, and Dun Silly Away. And away they go, and first shows number 3, Mega Foxy. On the inside, number 1, Jeff's Judge. And on the outside, number 4, Give and Go. Further out, number 5, Dun Silly Away. Around the corners, number 4, Give and Go. That squeeze round from number 5, Dun Silly Away. Back in third, number 3, Mega Foxy. Past halfway, it's number 4, Give and Go. About 2.5 lengths clear of number 5, Dun Silly Away, who's making a challenge. Further back, Mega Foxy. But around the second last corner, it's number 4, Give and Go. Stretching again. Got about 3 lengths clear of number 5, Dun Silly Away. Up the home straight. Here comes Dun Silly Away up the inside and gets there to beat number 4, Give and Go. Back in third, number 3, Mega Foxy. Well, heat 6 of the Produce Stakes, dogs in traps. In 1, Javelin King, 2, Dinry King. In 3, Swift Nikita, 4, Tut Tut, 5, Tank Taggart, and trap 6, Born a Dasher. The hare on the way, coming around the second last corner. The favourite here, trap number 6, Born a Dasher. And they're off and fast in stride. Number 3, Swift Nikita, cut straight for the rails. On the outside, Born a Dasher showing a nice turn of early. And further in, number 1, Javelin King. But around the corners, number 6, Born a Dasher, the favourite. Strikes the front from number 3, Swift Nikita. Moving well in third is number 5, Tank Taggart. Pass halfway though. It's number 6, Born a Dasher. He's opened up a gap of about 4 lengths over number 3, Swift Nikita. Number 1, Javelin King showing a lot of pace now. The challenge for second. But it's number 6, Born a Dasher clear in front. Around the final corner, Born a Dasher's not going to be caught. Coming home well, number 3, Swift Nikita. And third, Javelin King.
Construction of the new all-weather track and stadium is well underway at Lifford in County Donegal. At the family-owned track, Hugh Duffy sets the scene.
Whatever was on the site, we basically levelled it, so there's actually nothing left, so we started from scratch. The old track here, actually, what you could actually do now is actually incorporate it into the infield. The way the track was here, the bends were very tight, that there was a run down the back straight of probably a 15-foot trap into a corner, which is not suitable for a fast greyhound, whereas basically you couldn't go around the corners. So we also had an uphill finish and then into a tight bend there at the old powerhouse. So basically what we've done, we've actually widened the track What you have now is 150-metre bends on each end of the track, and the straights are about 100 metres long. So I would say that the problem we've had where we couldn't attract the top class greyhound, maybe derby class, there is the track we've actually laid down now is identical to Shelbourne Park, and hopefully, fingers crossed, that we should attract any type of greyhound from anywhere in the world.
This is a massive undertaking by both the Irish Greyhound Board and of course the Duffy family, who have been very heroic and very generous in their entire attitude to this development. Not alone did they come along here in April and purchase the track at a substantial sum, but they ran into a few problems after the purchase, i.e. To put the proper track on it. And when I say the proper track, I mean we have a Shelbourne Park here in Lifford. This track has been designed on Shelbourne Park, the bends, the straights, identical to Shelbourne Park. So as Hugh Duffy has already said, we're hoping to attract the top dogs here in Lifford. But to do that, having purchased the track, the Duffys were then faced with the problem of having to purchase more land to accommodate the new stand.
We purchased 2 acres to have it so that we would have no problem erecting a new stadium, a state-of-the-art stadium. Well, we've actually constructed a temporary building here ourselves at a cost of €150,000, which we are going to bear the cost of that. That has basically nothing to do with the grant or anything that's happened at the track. It will be demolished as soon as the new stadium is erected, and basically will be turned into a car park. Well, the whole project is actually costing about €9 million. A lot of it is coming from the Irish Greyhound Board and ourselves privately, and basically we could not undertake this unless we get a lot of help and a lot of cooperation from the Irish Greyhound Board, which we think we'd like to actually thank now and praise for all the sterling work they've done over the last 10 years and turned greyhound racing basically on its head and made it into one of the most prominent sports in Ireland.
We in the Irish Greyhound Board would wish them every success with it, and I know that their efforts alone, I mean already they're talking about the first meeting that they're going to be running here in the early part of May. They're speaking about sponsoring that meeting themselves and having at least 4 races at £5,000 a race. Now where on earth, you know, do track owners themselves put their hand in their pocket and come up with that sort of money? I think the Duffy family are going to make a massive success out of Lifford, coupled of course to the Irish Greyhound Board, who are behind them all the way.
The big track action of the weekend was at Shelbourne Park, where the second round heats of the BCR Press Easter Cup were run. Most attention, of course, was on the performance of Late Late Show running in the final heat. But let's look back at the 4 heats on what was a spectacular night's action. The bell goes for this opening heat. Heat 1, and in Trap 1 is Word of God. In 2, Ockram's First. Trap 3, Sporting Azar. 4, Roy's Quest. The favourite Barefoot Joe goes from 5, and Pullover Honcho is in 6. The early pacers are in 2 and 3 as the hare comes behind the traps, and out to go. Number 3 is off to a flyer, Sporting Azar, but number 6, Pullover Honcho, leads up, and Barefoot Joe very slowly into his stride, but he gets a good run around the opening corner. It's number 6, Pullover Honcho, in front. Number 1 now, Word of God, goes up to challenge and take over going down the back straight. It's Word of God racing to the front. From number 6 and second, Pullover Honcho. Barefoot Joe making ground on the inside of Ockram's First, and Roy's Quest slipping through into third. Onto the final corner, number 1, Word of God is in front. Pullover Honcho second. Number 4, Roy's Quest running on in third, with Barefoot Joe coming home fast but on the line. Number 1, Word of God, a clear winner from number 6, Pullover Honcho, in a time of 28.87. Heat 2, in Trap 1, Simply Supreme. In 2, we have Manic Street. The favourite Lid Pal Sammy runs from 3. Plucky Customers in 4. Marnog Selft in 5, and on the outside in 6, Fairy Man. As the hare comes around the final bend, the break will be vital in this one. Up behind the traps and out to go. The favourites well away, but it's a very level run to the corner. Number 5, Marnog Self going up strongly. Lid Pal Sammy going through on the inside to challenge and take it up perhaps in the second bend. But it's Marnog Self, number 5, from number 3. Lid Pal Sammy in second, being passed by number 4, Plucky Customer, running a big race. Down towards the third bend. 5, 4 and 3 is to hit the third bend here. And there's trouble between them, and number 4 now shows in front, Plucky Customer. From 5, Marnog Self. Number 6, Fairy Man just in behind. Off the final bend. 5 and 4, nothing. And here comes Fairy Man on the outside. A big upset as number 6, Fairy Man, takes it in 28.93. Heat 3, and in trap 1 is Whiteford Fraser. In 2, Shanless Park. In 3, Glasha Pride. 4, Top of the Best. The favourite Vera's Rovey is in 5, and Cullen Jury's on the outside in 6. The hare coming off the final corner. Don't expect the favourite to be out in front. No, he's not. He's very slowly away. It's number 3, Glasha Pride, leading up with Whiteford Fraser on the inside, and number 4, Top of the Best, very close at this stage, into the back straight. And number 1, Whiteford Fraser's in front from 3, Glasha Pride second, then 2, Shanless Park ahead of 4, Top of the Best, then number 6, Cullen Jury, and at the rear, Vera's Rovey. As they come around the second last bend, and number 1 is in front, Whiteford Fraser, and here comes Top of the Best, number 4, with his flying late run, and Vera's Rovey is trying to get going. Coming to the line, it's number 4, Top of the Best, gets up to win from number 1, Whiteford Fraser, and Vera's Rovey running on late. The time, 28:91. So to Heat 4, in trap 1, Bangor Kev. In 2, Marwood Beauty. 3, the favourite, Late Late Show, winner of this event last year. In 4, Diego Glory. 5, the fast starter, Athboy Vintage. And on the outside, the flying finisher, Moving Customer. Here, coming up behind the traps and off they go, and it's a level start. At number 1, Bangor Kev leads to the corner from number 5, Athboy Vintage. Late Late is back and forth. There's a faller. Number 4 is gone, Diego Glory at the bend. Down the back, it's Athboy Vintage hitting the front from 1, Bangor Kev. And here's Late Late Show starting his run. Bit held up there for a stride by Bangor Kev, but it's number 5 in front, Athboy Vintage, being challenged now by Late Late Show, who moves through, challenges on the last corner, and Late Late Show takes it up and goes clear from Athboy Vintage. It's 3, 5 and 6, and another stunning performance from Late Late Show in a brilliant 28:69.
Looking ahead now to this week's racing on Friday, Galway hosts the Goba Spring Stake Final. At Newbridge, it's the final of the Friends of Newbridge Stake, and at Harold's Cross, it's the first round of the Cool Performance Tri-Distance. Then on Saturday, Shelbourne Park have the BCR Press Easter Cup. It's the semi-finals of those. At Thurles, it's the second round of the Irish Stud Dog Owners and Red Mills Produce Stakes. Next week, the pressure builds in the Produce Stakes, and Shelbourne Park hosts the semi-finals of the Easter Cup. For further information on Irish Greyhound racing, ownership and syndication, visit our website at www.igb.ie or email us at admin@igb.ie.